When people say the internet is dying, they don't mean the Wi-Fi is about to flatline, or that your favorite app will vanish overnight. They mean something subtler and stranger. The internet is slowly filling up with content that looks human, sounds human, but wasn't actually felt by a human. AI bots, automation, and algorithm chasing have begun replacing messy, emotional, awkward human expression with smooth, optimized noise. The web isn't disappearing, it's being quietly hollowed out, like a mall that still has lights on but no soul. This video is about that slow, weird transformation and why your brain feels it before you consciously understand it. Number 1. Dead Internet Syndrome. Imagine you're scrolling at 2 a.m., half awake, thumb moving on muscle memory alone. You laugh at a post, then pause. Something feels off. The comments repeat the same jokes. The usernames look generated. The enthusiasm feels rehearsed. Congratulations! You've just brushed against dead internet syndrome. Psychologically, humans are exceptional at detecting authenticity. Your brain evolved to read microsignals: hesitation, inconsistency, emotional fingerprints. When content lacks those imperfections, your nervous system raises an eyebrow. Not an alarm, just a quiet hum. AI-generated content often feels like a perfectly waxed apple, technically flawless, emotionally suspicious. Dead internet theory suggests much of online content is no longer created for humans, but for algorithms. Bots talk to bots, posts respond to posts, and humans wander through, like tourists in an abandoned city, that still plays background music. The reason it feels exhausting isn't overload, it's emptiness. Your brain wants connection, not quantity. When everything is polished, nothing feels personal. When everything is optimized, nothing feels alive. Basically, the internet didn't die dramatically, it just stopped making eye contact. Number 2. Content without a pulse. You've probably watched a video recently that was perfectly edited, perfectly paced, perfectly lit, and somehow completely forgettable. No anger, no joy, no lingering thought. It slid through your brain like a screensaver dot. That's because human content has a pulse. It speeds up when excited, stumbles when unsure, and sometimes goes off topic for no logical reason at all. AI content, on the other hand, is calm in the way a waiting room is calm, pleasant, bloodless, designed not to offend, surprise, or confuse anyone, including you. Your brain is wired for emotional unpredictability. Dopamine spikes when something violates expectation, just enough to feel real. When content becomes too symmetrical, your attention system gets bored. It's the psychological equivalent of elevator music. Technically sounds spiritually missing. Algorithms love consistency. Humans crave contrast. So the internet fills with posts that follow the same structure, same jokes, same emotional arc. Not because they're meaningful, but because they're measurable. Engagement replaces expression. Matrix replace messiness. This is why you keep scrolling but don't feel satisfied. You're not overstimulated, you're undernourished. Basically, your brain came for a meal and got fed beige paste through a tube. Number 3. Bots talking to bots. Imagine walking into a party where everyone is talking, laughing, reacting, and then realizing none of them are actually listening. Half the guests are bots. The other half are responding as if they are bots. Congratulations, you've logged onto the modern internet. Social platforms were built on human feedback loops. Someone posts, someone reacts, someone feels seen. But now a growing percentage of that loop is artificial. Bots reply to bots, inflate engagement numbers, and create the illusion of relevance. Your brain reads 10,000 likes and assumes, ah yes, the tribe has spoken. Psychologically, humans use social proof as a shortcut for truth. If many people appear to care, it must matter. But when care is simulated, the shortcut leads off a cliff. You end up trusting popularity that no human ever consciously gave. Even worse, real humans adapt. They start writing like bots because bots get rewarded. Shorter sentences, predictable emotions, safe opinions. You don't want to be weird. You want to be seen. So, you send yourself down into algorithm-friendly shapes. Eventually, no one knows who's performing for whom anymore. The internet becomes a hall of mirrors, applauding itself basically. It's a standing ovation, where everyone forgot why they're clapping. Number 4. The death of weird. Somewhere along the way, the internet stopped rewarding strange humans and started rewarding optimized personalities. The kind that fit neatly into categories like relatable, aesthetic, or 5 tips that changed my life. Weird doesn't test well. Weird confuses metrics. Your brain, however, loves weird. A person talking too fast. A joke that lands slightly wrong. A video filmed badly, but honestly. These things signal authenticity. They say this wasn't engineered. This escaped. AI struggles with weird because weird comes from contradiction. Humans are inconsistent on purpose. You can be smart and irrational, confident and insecure, calm and suddenly obsessed with something pointless. Algorithms prefer coherence. Humans are walking plot holes. So creators adjust. They smooth out their edges. They stop posting thoughts that feel half-formed. They delete the joke that only 3 people would understand. Over time, everything becomes legible, efficient, and safe. The tragedy is subtle. It doesn't feel like censorship. It feels like professionalism. But professionalism is just chaos. Wearing a tie basically. The internet didn't lose creativity overnight. It slowly ironed it flat. Number 5. Emotion on demand. Picture this. You open your phone to relax and immediately get served outrage, inspiration, nostalgia, fear, and a motivational quote about waking up at 5 a.m. Your nervous system didn't consent to this itinerary. AI and algorithms are very good at emotional prediction. They know what usually makes people react. So they deliver emotions like a vending machine. Press anger, press comfort, press hope. Over time, emotions stop being responses and start being products. Your brain isn't built for this. Emotion is supposed to follow experience, not precede it. When feelings arrive without context, your system stays activated but never resolves. You're not angry about anything specific. You are just activated. Psychologists call this chronic arousal. You feel busy, involved, and strangely empty at the same time, like revving an engine in neutral for hours. Human-made content used to carry emotional fingerprints. Someone processed something and then shared it. Now content often skips the processing and goes straight to the punchline. No digestion, just sugar basically. Your feelings are being microwaved instead of cooked. Fast, hot, and unsatisfying. Number 6. Everyone becomes a brand. At some point, posting online stopped being expression and started being packaging. You're no longer a person sharing thoughts. You're a personal brand, which is a deeply unsettling phrase when you think about it for more than 3 seconds. Branding demands consistency, a tone, a vibe, a promise. But humans aren't consistent. You wake up tired, hopeful, cynical, curious, and irrational sometimes before breakfast. When you compress yourself into a brand, you amputate parts that don't fit the logo. AI thrives here. It loves stable identities. It can replicate a voice endlessly, without mood swings or existential dread. Humans, noticing what performs, begin to imitate that stability. They stop changing their minds publicly. They stop contradicting themselves. Growth becomes a liability psychologically. This creates identity fatigue. You're maintaining a character while living a life, and the internet rewards the character, not the person. So the gap widens eventually. Feeds fill with people playing versions of themselves they no longer recognize, smiling in thumbnails like emotional mannequins. Basically, the internet didn't steal authenticity. We put it in a box and labeled it on brand. Number 7. The silence of real people. Notice how fewer people post casually now. No half-baked thoughts. No messy opinions typed at 2 a.m. No, this might be wrong, but energy. Just polish posts or nothing at all. That's not coincidence. When the internet becomes louder, Individuals become quieter. Bots don't feel embarrassment. AI doesn't fear being misunderstood. Humans do. So when feeds fill with perfect responses and instant expertise, real people hesitate. They don't want to sound dumb next to a machine that never stutters psychologically. This is classic social inhibition. When standards rise unrealistically, participation drops. It's why beginners stop asking questions in rooms full of experts. Except now, the experts aren't even people. So humans retreat to private group chats. Comment sections shrink and the internet feels busy, but hollow. Content keeps coming but voices disappear. Expression turns into consumption. Watching replaces speaking. Ironically, the more automated the internet becomes, the more human presence withdraws. Like animals leaving a forest that got too loud. Basically, the internet isn't empty because no one has anything to say. It's empty because too many things are already talking. Number 8. Trust starts to rot. Imagine reading an article, watching a video, or scrolling past a heartfelt post. And your first thought isn't, is this true? But is this even human? That tiny hesitation is new. And it changes everything. The internet used to run on a fragile social contract. Behind the screen, there was probably a person, flawed, biased, emotional, but real. Now uncertainty creeps in. Was this written by someone who cares? Or generated by something that doesn't sleep, eat, or doubt itself? Your brain relies heavily on source credibility. Trust isn't just about facts. It's about intent. Humans subconsciously ask who made this and why. When the answer becomes unclear, skepticism spikes. You stop engaging deeply. You skim. You detach. You assume manipulation by default. This creates a psychological numbness. Even genuine human stories start feeling suspicious. Empathy gets rationed. Why invest emotionally if it might be synthetic? Ironically, AI-generated content doesn't need trust to function. It just needs attention. Humans, on the other hand, need belief to connect. When belief erodes, the internet becomes informational but not relational. Basically, when you can't tell who's real, your heart stays in airplane mode just in case. Number 9. The attention graveyard. You sit down to scroll for 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, you resurface. Like someone who just woke up on a moving train, with no memory of boarding. Nothing dramatic happened. Nothing memorable either. Just time gone. That's because the modern internet isn't designed to be enjoyed. It's designed to be occupied. AI and algorithms don't care if you feel satisfied. They care if you stay. So content is optimized not to hit hard, but to never quite finish. Emotional cliffhanger, half answers, threads that promise clarity and deliver fog. Your brain hates unfinished loops. It keeps paying attention, hoping for closure. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. The internet calls it watch time. Human content used to have natural stopping points. A story ended. A joke landed. You laughed, felt something, and moved on. Now everything bleeds into everything else. No endings. No silence. Just an endless hallway of doors that all lead to slightly different versions of the same room. This doesn't stimulate you. It erodes you. Attention becomes shallow. Memory weakens. Everything feels important for 3 seconds and irrelevant forever. Basically, your attention didn't get stolen. It got buried under content that never meant to let it rest. Number 10. What survives isn't perfect. Here's the quiet twist ending no one likes to put in a headline. The internet isn't dying. It's molting. And what grows back won't be the cleanest, fastest, or most optimized thing in the room. What survives is friction, slowness, human hesitation, the post that's slightly awkward, the video that goes nowhere for 30 seconds, and then say something real. AI can flood the zone, but it can't replace desire, the desire to be understood by another nervous system. Psychologically, humans don't bond over perfection. We bond over effort, over mistakes, over moments where someone tried to say something and didn't quite land it, but you felt the attempt. That's not efficient. That's expensive. And that's why it matters. As synthetic content increases, human-made content becomes rarer, and therefore more valuable. You already see it happening. Small communities, niche newsletters, long videos with no jump cuts, spaces where people talk slower and mean it. The future internet won't feel like a feed. It'll feel like rooms. Harder to find, harder to scale, easier to trust basically.